What's up, everyone? A couple days ago, I went live and I kind of threw out a story about a car accident last year. I didn't really go too far into detail about it, but I still kind of find it hard to talk about. But I'm gonna do my best. See if I can get it all out without losing it a little bit. But August 14th last year, it was a good morning, man. Got all the kids ready, off to school. Dropped my son off, and me and my wife were gonna head to the gym because, believe it or not, we were talking about losing weight, but that got put to an end real quick. But I would say 2 blocks away from my son's school, right after we dropped him off, we were on our way to the gym, and some guy driving, not paying attention. He may have been on his phone or something, I'm not sure which, but regardless, he just wasn't watching what he was doing. Flew through a red light at 65 miles an hour and slammed into the side of me and my wife. It hit my wife's door, actually. And what was weird about it all is I woke up and felt like I woke up from a nap. And I felt like I was sweating, so I took my hand and I went like this. And when I brought my hand back, it was covered in blood. I'm like, oh my God, what the? And some guy reached in the car and told me not to freak out, but that I was in a car accident. So I looked down, and then I see my wife laying across the my lap. She wasn't moving. And somebody reached to her side and was trying to give her CPR. And I never got to meet this person again after that. If by any chance you ever see this video, I want to personally thank you, because she started to breathe, but she was having convulsions and she was choking. So I opened her mouth and I noticed that she was choking on her teeth. She had lost all of her teeth. So I had to go through and pull all of her teeth out, and then from that point, fire and rescue cut us out. And then, we got split up from there. We went to the same hospital, though. Loma Linda University. I tell you what, those people are angels. They called my mom and they told her that that me and my wife was in a fender bender. So she thought she was just going to come down to the hospital and, we may have had a couple bumps and bruises or something, but she had walked in. They wouldn't give her no information about my wife. But when she saw me, I was awake. And they were prepping me for surgery because I had ruptured my spleen. So finally, they told her where my wife was at and that she's alive. But they had put her into an induced coma because she had swelling and bleeding in her brain. And she remained in the coma for about, I want to say almost 3 weeks. I I was in the ICU. I was about 3 rooms away from her. And the next morning when I woke up, after I had my surgery and everything, I wanted to go see her, and they wouldn't let me get out of my bed. I think I made all the nurses in that hospital so mad that day, because I wasn't giving up. I'm like, no, I want to go see my wife. They finally said okay. They brought me a walker, and mind you, I have 8 broken ribs, bruised lung, and I just went through surgery on my spleen, which I don't have anymore. Thank you, whoever hit me. And I walked to her room, and I couldn't get myself to go in. It was about 3 days past the accident before I got the courage up enough to walk in the room. And then they took me out of the ICU, put me in a regular room, and they came and told me that they were going to, bring her out of the coma. And her chances weren't very good. But God had another plan. They took her off, and not even 2 minutes later, she started to open her eyes. And I love this woman. As soon as she was able to open her eyes, she couldn't talk. She had tubes in her mouth, helping her breathe and all. But my wife does sign language because one of her sisters is deaf. First thing she does, she signs for a Coke. And, after knowing what happened, the only thing that she was worried about is if I was okay. I had some busted blood vessels in my eyes, so my eyes were full of blood. But, I'm sorry. After they told me that she's going to be fine, she flatlined one more time. They put her in a regular room. They brought her out of the ICU. And one of the nurses left a fan on in front of her bed, which, with the fluid that she already had in her lungs from being in the accident and all that, it blocked her air passage and made it to where she couldn't breathe, and they had to rush her into emergency surgery and clear her lungs back out, which she pulled through that. And then about a week later, they took her back into surgery because they had to do reconstructive surgery on her jaw. She busted her jaw in half on both sides, so they had to put metal rods in. They couldn't wire her jaw shut because she had lost all of her teeth. And they thought that she may have had a stroke because one whole side of her face was sagging. And after the surgery, she came home. And we started a prayer chain on Facebook. And it went viral. Over 60,000 people joined that prayer group. And the doctors don't know how. I don't know how. But her face, it just went back. I can't explain it. But, knowing today, you wouldn't be able to tell. But the moral to that whole story is, don't take life for granted. Life is short. Sometimes it's hard. But God's never going to give you more than you can handle. So don't worry about the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. And please pay attention when you're driving. Don't be on your phone. Because I can't tell you how many times I've shown up on scene and somebody has lost their life because somebody wanted to be on the phone, or they weren't paying attention, or the person in front of them wasn't going as fast as they want them to go. What's the big hurry? No matter if you're on time or late, either way you look at it, you're there and you're alive. Nothing is as important. Nothing is so important to where you have to put people's lives at risk just because you think you have to be somewhere at a certain time to where you have to put everybody's lives at risk. It's just not that important. But after I got out of the hospital and all that, and that's when I started watching YouTube really very strong. And I stumbled upon, I can't talk. I stumbled upon Isaac, Guest Mob. And I was just getting ready to go back to work, and he was doing GoFundMe for Christmas. I donated $100. Ever since he did that, I hadn't had nothing but respect for that man. He's a good guy. And for all these people to be pulling this BS that they pull, it's not right. They need to get over it, Start your own platforms with your own content. Grow on your own. Trying to piggyback off of people, use their clout. I mean, come on. My channel's got, 18 subscribers, but I don't care. It's fun. It's a pastime. It's not that serious. You can take everything I say as a grain of salt, or you can let it sink in. Other than that, just live life, love, and pay attention when you drive, people. But that's going to be it. I got to go in here. My daughter has a dentist appointment. That's the first time, really, that I've actually sat down and told the story in its entirety. It was the worst day of my life, but yet the best day of my life, because my eyes were open. I accepted God. I wish it could have happened another way, but God has His plans for everything. Everything happens for a reason. I found YouTube for a reason. Isaac, Michael, AGP, Bowser. God puts everybody in your life for a reason. You never know why until He's ready for you to know. I tell you what, though, Bowser, your live streams, Isaac's live streams, they brighten up my day, man. I'll get to thinking about things, and because I have PTSD from the accident. I have flashbacks and nightmares and all kinds of bad stuff, but your guys' videos help. Your live streams help. I respect you guys. I love you guys. I gotta go in here and take my daughter and have her braces tightened up. Wait, it's not a brace. When I say braces, It's like a spacer type thing. I don't know what it is. I'm not a dentist. I'm not an MD. I'm a tow truck driver. Drive safe. Respect everybody. Love everybody. Peace.